Hey guys, Amanda's here. I know it's been a while since I've sat right here in front of a camera and talked to all of you, like a year and a half. But recently a lot of discussion has been made. Ultimately, we decided to do this in video format instead of live stream, and I got to get a lot of opinions on a lot of things and ultimately decide what I'm doing. But before I talk about what I'm doing in the future, I want to talk about where I've been. Because it's been a year and a half, and I've been practically dead silent on all of you. And I want to start off by apologizing on that. I've talked about things in the Discord, but I haven't said a lot of things online, like on the community tab or anything. I've mostly just spoken in Discord or to people privately. And I never did anything to kind of be like, hey, like, I'm okay, like, this is what happened. So I want to get into that first. First of all, there were two big changes, and both of them affected the reason I basically went off the grid. First, Demonic and I broke up. A lot of people already know about this, and it will probably come as no shock to some others. A lot of people said that they, saw this coming when it happened, or a lot of people saw the problems that I was trying to ignore. But we did break up about a year ago. And it was something that really affected me, not necessarily in the sense that the breakup itself affected me. It did, but we were already having a lot of problems before that, and those problems were affecting a lot of my mentality, my mental state, everything. And I won't go into details on here. Anyone who really needs to know, or I felt like telling, knows personally, privately. But we were having a lot of fights and arguments, and ultimately it was better mentally to step away from that. But that also means that financially I had to move. I had to get a car, so I couldn't afford to get any new equipment to record. And at the same time, since we broke up, I couldn't use her computer. So I couldn't do any videos or live streams or content because I had nothing, no computer, no devices except my consoles, none of that. And then ultimately, back in March, at the very end of March, Tweety passed away. Everyone in my Discord knows about that. A couple people know privately that may not be in my Discord, but ultimately I didn't say anything on the actual channel itself. I did not put anything on there because I was already like in silent mode, and I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything in live streams, in anyone else's live streams, none of that. But Tweety is gone. In fact, she's right here on my neck, and I have my Roxy, and Tweety really hit hard. Tweety hit me very, very hard. She was like an icon for the channel, just like Roxy. They both chilled on my shoulders while we did videos, everything, and she's in my profile picture. It really, really hit me hard, and especially the way that it just happened so suddenly. Again, I won't go into details, but it really hit hard, and I fell into a bit of a depressive spiral, a bit of a mental spiral between that, the breakup, the trying to move. I was stressing out, and I really, really did want to come back, but ultimately I was also forced to really sit back and consider if this was something I genuinely wanted to do. Do I want to keep making gaming videos? Is there something else I'd rather do? Is there anything else I even could do? Do I want to just shut them down completely? And ultimately, I struggled with myself for that a lot, because I determined that I didn't really want to. I love my gaming, and I love talking to all of you, but it started to feel more like my gaming ended up being a chore, and it's really just something I do in my pastime for fun. And it felt like I couldn't really do anything without worrying about channel content. Like, I can't play that game until I can record it. I can't do that shiny hunt until I can make sure I can record it. And then when you can't record anything, it turned into like a year of me just being like, I can't record this, what am I going to do? And that kind of stress was something where I just kind of sat here and was like, I don't know if I really want to do that. Not to mention the constant bouncing and the fact that I was mostly just playing video games I wanted to play rather than genuinely following any algorithm or anything like that, which is what YouTube is practically, based on. So the problem then lied that if I came out and I openly just said I'm not doing gaming anymore, or I'm shutting down the channels completely, I would feel more like a failure than I already did. I felt like an ultimate failure because the computer broke and there was nothing I could do about it, and no matter how hard I tried, I could not get back to recording. I could not get back to making content. Everything fell through. And I sat here and I said I didn't want to feel like a failure, but I also don't know if my heart's completely set on it. So I just stayed silent. I didn't do anything. I didn't say anything. I didn't, I talked about possibly getting new computers and stuff, but never was able to actually follow through with anything. So, the thing is that gaming will not leave me completely, and that's where we get to talk about the future. What am I doing? Am I doing anything? Are we shutting the channels down? No. Not exactly. There's been a lot of talk recently because I've gotten back into writing. It has spread. It's gotten to the point where almost every day there's some new poem in my documents and everything else, and I have shown these poems to quite a few people, quite a lot of people, and everybody keeps responding with the same thing, that I need to share them. And I've been watching Celia Poetry on TikTok, Powerhouse of the Cell. If any of you are really into poetry and you watch TikToks, you should check her out. She also has books. But it was a big inspiration in my mind to, I could do this, I could put this out there. And I could inspire other people to share their writing or even keep writing. Like, a lot of my poetry and writing recently has been, because of her inspiration, or because of, this new friend of mine that I met. I call her Ash. And it's been a big inspiration, like having a muse or having a spark back, and I realized that this was where my heart was truly set. So then what? What do I do with that? And I had to really consider how I was going to go about this, because I already had 2 YouTube channels, but those channels were practically dead if I didn't start gaming. And ultimately, I didn't have the financial capability to start gaming, and I didn't even know if that's what I would want to continue doing. So what do we do? Well, the decision has been thought up and made and talked about with moderators and others in my Discord about rebranding instead. And here's what that would mean. First of all, I talked about deleting videos. I will actually be privating them instead. What I would do is I would private every video on the channels, and basically just keep a hold of them. If I ever decided, I did want to go back to gaming with, second channel, I could use them. And our main channel here would turn into basically my poetry corner. I would instead start making shorts, content, sharing my poetry, and I would also be posting it to things such as TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of that. And the second channel would be shut down unless further used. Like, for if I came back to gaming for any reason, and if I did come back to gaming and I did use that channel, it would all be mixed together. It would no longer be separate between PG, not PG. It would all come together. And the ultimate reason I decided to private instead of delete is I have a lot of memories in those videos and streams that I don't want to lose completely. And I could always go back and download those videos and repost them, maybe even edit them officially if I did go back. So what that essentially means is tonight I planned to private all those videos and live streams, but I did not want to do it without talking to you guys first, because this video will stay public. My profile picture would probably change to a photo of me. I haven't decided yet because I really do want to keep Tweety in the photo. But at the same time, I feel like I need something that's better fitting for what the channel would be, and I have to ultimately determine, you know, what I'm going to do with that. And I wanted your guys' feedback, hence why I'm trying to decide between live stream or video. I would be going through tonight, privating everything. The second channel would, you know, basically go dead for now. And I would start posting at least once a week, me doing recordings just like this, but reading poetry off my computer screen. And it'd be like one poem a week in shorts form content. The other future idea is one that is kind of like a side project, a hobby. It's not something we have any dead set timeline on. It's going to take quite some time. But Becca and I have been in discussion about making a lore dive podcast. So gaming would not be leaving me completely. And this podcast, it would go out to any streaming services, whatever I can do, however I can do that. I've been doing a lot of research into it. And what it would be is me researching and deep diving into the lore of video games and other, you know, nerdy things. And then we would record videos where we discuss that lore and, you know, basically fill out a timeline or whatever else. That one is not something completely set in stone, and it's not something that has any definitive timeline. I just know it would take a while for that to even come to light. So the poetry was the thing I wanted to focus on now, because I'm currently sitting on about 25 poems. Honestly, almost 30 now, because I wrote more just this morning. And I haven't really lost the creative streak in this because, you know, I finally found a spark to do it again and suddenly realized how much I've had to say. Or how much I do have to say now. So, with that being said, I want to thank you all for having joined me from the beginning. And I know a lot of you may step away. Poetry may not be what you're into, and that's fine. That's totally okay. You're welcome to give feedback and opinions in the comments. I considered giving a poem sneak peek in this, but I think I've ultimately decided not to. I will be posting one I considered tonight or tomorrow. I may wait for some feedback on this change in the comments, but this is basically what I've decided. And I do want to say that the Discord will stay the same. I've considered making a different Discord for like a poetry, or making a separate channel, and then the people that come in automatically go to that channel instead. But the Discord would stay with gaming talk, so you guys will still get clips of me getting shinies, because I'd still absolutely be sharing them. However, I just won't be putting them, you know, on YouTube or anything anymore. And this is ultimately where I decided to move forward, because this is where I really want to do this. This is where my heart and my soul really lies in it. And I've never really wanted to share my writing more than I do now, especially because everyone who's read these keeps telling me I should. So feel free to comment below on the change, you know, how you feel about the updates, everything that's happened. I will probably be looking into putting together a montage of photos and videos of Tweety. If you guys would like that, you know, comment. And I will see you guys in the next video. I'll be responding to your comments, checking your comments, seeing what you guys think. But this will ultimately probably be the plan moving forward. So thank you guys for listening to me talk. It's been 14 minutes. Jeez. And I will see you guys in the next one, and I will talk to you all soon. Thank you. Peace.